I am Cara from Manpower Ireland, and I'd just like to start by thanking the American Chamber, and in particular Miriam, for inviting me to speak here today and in such distinguished company. And also thanks to Brian from Citigroup for welcoming us all to his wonderful facility. So, where to start? So, in Manpower, corporate social responsibility has always been part of our DNA. And reflecting this, our chairman and CEO, Jeff Jerez, was recently presented with Corporate Responsibilities magazine's first ever Lifetime Achievement Award. Our business, the staffing business, is in itself socially responsible. Everything we do is geared towards connecting people with jobs, enabling them to support themselves and their families. Our free training programs enable all of our permanent, temporary and contract employees to upskill and thereby increasing their own career potential. Like many of you here, Manpower is headquartered in the US, in Wisconsin to be precise. Founded over 60 years ago, the Manpower group of companies, which in Ireland includes Right Management and Elan IT, has evolved continuously, partnering with our clients and candidates to embrace contemporary challenges and to prepare for what's next in the world of work. So throughout the years, and you can see an example of our timeline there, Manpower has been involved globally in a number of initiatives which support our dedication to CSR. In 1953, Manpower launched the Manpower Foundation, which is dedicated to supporting job training and education. This is still active today. In 1964, we started Youth Power, where student volunteers work with local companies to find jobs for other students. In 1966, we received an award for this program from United States President Lyndon Johnson. And so to more recent times, in 1996, Manpower US joined the Welfare to Work initiative, which encourages businesses to hire and retain former welfare recipients. So it's similar in ways to our current Job Bridge program, which Manpower Ireland is a proud member of today. These are just some of the examples of approaches that we have taken to CSR. And these have helped us to achieve our current status as an industry leader. And so moving on. These are just some of the examples of global programs that we have run from a CSR perspective. In 2011, Manpower Group was named once again to the Ethisphere Institute World's Most Ethical Companies list for our proven commitment to ethical business practices, including an outstanding commitment to CSR. The World's Most Ethical Companies designation is awarded to companies that have leading ethics and compliance programs, particularly as compared to industry peers. And Manpower is the only staffing company to have been named to this prestigious list. We've determined that the best way we can help when disaster strikes is to create a path to sustainable employment that will enable survivors to feed their families and begin building towards a better tomorrow. The importance of CSR within Manpower at a global level fills us with pride and inspires us here in Ireland to make CSR a priority for us in our day-to-day work. And so to speak locally, and I've noticed from a lot of the presentations here this morning that we're probably one of the smaller local companies, so unlike those of you with thousands of employees, in Ireland we have just 60. So on a local level, Manpower has always been actively involved in corporate social responsibility. And over the last number of years, we've been involved in the BITC Skills at Work programme and the Team Hope Christmas Shoebox Appeal, among others. However, it was in 2010, when our new leadership team was appointed, that we sat down to organise the company's annual mid-year event, which, like a lot of companies, the mid-year event traditionally was a social outing, go-karting, paintballing, followed by a night out. It was at this time that our new managing director suggested that we would instead have a day where we were giving something back to the community in which we work. And as such, our annual Manpower CSR Day was born. So what did this involve? Our first CSR Day in 2010 was in the Bira Hall. We partnered through Volunteer Ireland with Kevin Mooney, the chairperson of the Bira Hall. And what the Bira Hall does is it's actually a youth centre based in Dublin 8, and they provide critical support to youths in the community. They have a very supportive team based on site who provide a listening ear to young people that may be in need of it. And they also provide sports and drama classes to keep the young people in the community actively involved. Our first annual CSR Day saw a team of people from Manpower, so I think we had about 40 people in all, Basically, we broke them into sub-teams, and because we are in the staffing industry, by our very nature, we're reasonably competitive people, so we thought we would introduce an element of competition to the day. The teams were based on their pre-outing efforts to purchase materials with their assigned budgets, and as I say, as a reasonably small company in Ireland, the budgets were pretty small, so I think we're an example maybe of what you can do on not a huge CSR budget. They were also judged on how well throughout the day they demonstrated Manpower's values of caring about people, sharing our knowledge, expertise and resources, and finding new and better ways of doing things. So I just have a quote here from Kevin Mooney of the Bira Hall. I suppose from my perspective, I have to say I think the teams did exceptionally well on the day. You know, they got in contact with clients and local companies in advance of the event. And to be fair to them, in order to conserve their budgets so that they could purchase some items to donate to the Bira Hall, they raided their own homes and possibly the homes of families and friends in order to gather some materials for gardening and painting. The result at the end of the day was that we donated a number of items, sports equipment, bean bags, picnic benches, various bits and pieces to the Bira Hall, in addition to which we gave the entire community hall a facelift. I think what was most surprising about the day was the effect that it had on us. So it really strengthened intercompany relationships, and I think a lot more so than a traditional social event would have done. Following the success of this, we developed a more dynamic internal approach to CSR. And it was because of the passion and engagement of our staff that we decided that we would have a dedicated CSR champion team within the company, so that they could support our involvement with worthy causes. Rather than appointing people to this team, we did ask for volunteers. We were really successful with that. We have a great CSR team now in place who look after all of our initiatives throughout the year. Rather than having just one day, we've now expanded it so that we have a calendar of events throughout the year. And I think this came from feedback from our staff that, you know, if you missed out on the company day, you weren't participating in CSR. So this gives everybody a chance to get involved. And I think this is really important because I'm going to talk a little bit about, if my clock lets me, about the benefits of CSR. The culmination of our efforts through the year is our CSR Day, which this year saw us run a very similar event to Bira Hall, but in PMount. And PMount basically is an organisation that supports people to live independently following long-term illness. And also they have a residential care where they support people with serious illness, and they allow them to, they encourage them to live as independently as possible. Again, it was a really successful event. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so it was quite similar to the day at Bira Hall. And I think that many of our team have really special memories of this day. I think that's very important as well. And it does give people a chance to work together in team environments that maybe they wouldn't have had an opportunity to do so in their regular day, because we're based in 5 sites across Ireland. So just to move on very quickly to the benefits of CSR. So I suppose I'll just fly through them very quickly. I've broken it down into 4 different sections. So there are many, many benefits from CSR. So from an individual perspective, I suppose there's no better feeling than the feeling you get by doing good. And I think that really is transparent from our perspective, from the employees that we have and the feedback that we've gained. And in the sense of personal achievement that they get, this is an actual tangible benefit to individuals. And in addition to that, it offers them a chance to team build with their colleagues that they may not see on a day-to-day basis. And then going on, so from a company perspective, we have seen a very positive impact on staff engagement as a result of this, and we hope to further develop on this next year when we rope our colleagues from Right Management and Elan IT into joining us on our annual day out. And these positive initiatives have had a direct impact on staff retention. And I think that's something that from a staffing perspective we would encourage all of our clients to be involved in also. People do want to work for a company that cares about people. That is a fact. We know that, we've studied that, we've researched it, and I think that is very evident in what we do on a day-to-day basis. So I think we realise the benefits of CSR also on our reputation, which in turn impacts on the reputation of our clients. And we, as a result, see a positive relationship between CSR and our commercial turnover. And nearly finished. Just that brings us on to corporate, and I have a graph there that you may be able to see. Basically, what that graph depicts is the link between companies listed to the Ethisphere list of world's most ethical companies and their Standard & Poor's rating since this listing began in 2007. And I think it's clear to see from that graph the correlation between the company's approach to corporate responsibility and their commercial success. And so finally, to the community, we would see that the benefits are to the community both tangible and intangible. They receive additional resources, and I suppose also we have to look at the greater benefits that result from people working together from different socioeconomic backgrounds. And so I just like to, my red light has been flashing for a bit, so I better go. But thank you very much, and again, just thanks to Miriam and to Brian for hosting us today.